oven-baked salmon with panko breadcrumbs. And some sides.
For our ingredients, we'll be needing a 1/4 pound worth of salmon fillet, a good old tub of butter, yellow mustard, mayonnaise, and the good sriracha mayo. Long grain rice, a baggie of panko breadcrumbs, don't mind the frog clamp there, and a classic box of mac and cheese. That's right, we're going gourmet style today, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started, give your hands a good thorough wash, as salmon can tend to be quite sticky to deal with.
So since I only have one measuring cup as of right now, I like to use a solo cup or any other kind of cup so that I can transfer the rice, so I can actually use the measurements to figure out how much water I need. I'm not good at math.
On to make our preparations for the rice. In a measuring cup, we are pouring about 3/4 cups worth of rice, all while dropping an absurd amount of rice grains on your mother's kitchen. Now here you can see my slight mistake, as instead of measuring the amount of water needed, I just fill up the old saucepan here with about halfway full. Get that to a bubbling boil, in which we are adding our rice and letting it sit. In the meantime, we'll need to search for another flat pan to prepare our panko crumbs. If you can even find one, that is.
I didn't empty out the dishwasher yet.
Go ahead and set your pan to a low to medium heat so that we can add the oh so special ingredient.
It's time for everybody's favorite. That went in my face.
In goes the pat of butter, mixed around until fully melted down. Add in our panko crumbs, enough to cover the whole portion of the pan. Alright, now let's take a look at our lovely colored salmon over here. A really easy trick, if your fish still has the skin intact and that's not really your thing, is to boil water, transfer it into a measuring cup, and pour directly onto the skin. This causes the skin to shrink and tense up, making for easier peeling and removing. Next, we'll prepare our oven and find the perfect pan for our fish. That entails pulling out every single pan that we store in the oven first. We'll be setting our preheated temperature to a nice 325 degrees. Checking on our rice, making sure to give it a stir every now and then so that we can prepare our boxed mac and cheese, and desperately attempt to remember that we are an adult and we know how to make mac and cheese without cheating and looking at the instructions. Don't forget about your panko breadcrumbs, however. Give them a flip and stir them every so often as to not burn them, as these can easily way overburn before putting them in the oven. In a larger saucepan, we are adding the appropriate amount of water for our mac and cheese and bringing that to a nice boil. Keep on a-flippin', keep on a-flippin', make that mess, pretend it didn't happen, clean, clean, clean. Once the panko crumbs have been tossed accordingly and render a golden brown color, we can pull them off of the heat and get them ready to mix. Try your best at pouring them into a small mixture cup while once again missing half of the actual cup, resulting in even more mess.
Nailed it.
A little cleanup here and there, and then we'll add the bit of salt, pepper, oregano, yes, we are getting fancy now, and ground cayenne pepper. Give that a good stir so everything is nice and homogeneous together. Next, we'll need 1 egg white stirred into the mixture. This is so that our crumbs can have some structure to them. Now, that may seem a bit on the goopy side, but this will crisp up greatly in the oven afterwards. Setting that aside, we are now creating the glue that will hold our panko crumbs in place on top of our salmon. Equal parts of mayo and mustard stirred together to create a very bright gold color. On this circular pizza pan that I found to use, we are lining it over with aluminum foil and spreading a good amount of olive oil so that our fish does not stick, because believe me, it will stick. Slapping down our salmon, let's give a quick shake of salt and pepper coating before adding our glue mixture. No need to be perfect on the panko breadcrumb placement, just place them on top and be sure to cover all of that golden color.
I have watchers outside who are upset at me that I'm making fish right in front of them. You can see the sadness in his little basset hound eyes.
Slide that guy right on in the oven and let him relax for about 25 minutes depending on your oven. In the meantime, while everything is cooking and finishing up, try to find exciting things to entertain yourself while you wait. Alright, after the antics, search desperately for the strainer in your cabinet.
Why?
Pour your noodles in and give them a good shake in the strainer, and then back over to the saucepan for our other ingredients. A small pat of butter, the cheese powder mix, and a splash of milk to add to the creaminess. Stir together well until all has been combined accordingly and resembles that perfect, unnatural cartoon yellow. Oh, look at that, brilliant! Both of our sides have finished and the time for salmon has finally come. Do make sure before pulling out of the oven you use the most dirty, burnt, and torn oven mitt that you can possibly find in your household. Set it out onto a heat-resistant surface of your choice to marvel at the beauty that is this cooked salmon. Alright, let's plate it up. And never forget that signature sriracha mayo drizzle. They should really sponsor me for this.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Carbs, carbs, and omega-3s. A well-balanced meal.
Thank y'all so much for watching the ridiculousness that is the Why Eats Cooking Show. I hope you give this recipe a try. Everybody have a blessed day, and I will see y'all soon. Later.